Just grab Dunks out from the fire for a couple of minutes, just ask him to run through a few questions here. Mate, basically, just a bit of name, age, and where you're from roughly.
Yep, so Pete Duncan, I'm 48 and from Melbourne, born and bred in Melbourne.
Yeah, I'm Matt, I'm southeastern suburbs of Melbourne.
Shane, from Shep,
Yep.
48 this year, feeling every bit of it.
Seb Morris, 28 from Melbourne now, been down there 8 years.
Joe, live in Baronia down in Melbourne, 45.
Paul, 38 this year, and from Druin.
Most of you know me, I'm Hill Dog, almost 30, and from Nunya Valley in Australia, mate.
Glenn from Bendigo, 47.
How many years have you been chasing Sambar, do you say?
About a dozen years, I think.
Yep.
I've been chasing Sambar for about 20 years. Started with hounds for a short time and then after that moved to stalking.
It's about 22 years now, I reckon.
Mm-hmm.
Probably only 4, I suppose.
Quite a few years. My dad brought me into it many years ago. We used to go up together. So it'd be about 8 to 10 years.
About 11 years.
Yep.
I've been chasing Sambar deer probably 15 years.
Been chasing Sambar for probably 10 years or so now. How often do you say do you visit the Wonnangatta in particular?
Yeah, so I've been here for about the last 8 years. I think I missed 1 year in between, so 9 years I've been coming here.
Yep.
I try to get up every year.
Yep.
But usually probably every second year. I've been up here about 7 times now.
Yeah, no, I've been coming in here since I think 95 or 96 was my first trip in here,
Okay, yep.
and shot a spiker then.
Yep.
And I don't think there's been a year where we haven't come in either for a long weekend or for a week-long trip in the middle of winter on push bikes.
So this is the 10th year. I've been 9 times. I missed 1 year for whatever reason. But before that I'd been coming in for another couple of years before that.
Sweet.
Twice a year. So I have this trip with the boys in May, and then I usually come in January with another Australia Day long weekend. We just do a drive-through.
Yep.
I've been to Wonnangatta last 7 years.
Yep.
This time in May.
Annually, once a year,
Yep.
usually.
Last few years I've been visiting the Gata for 6 consecutive years now. Coincide with the Oz Hunt Forum. They do an annual Gata get together, and I like to base some trips around that. So we're here for the 10 years. How often through the year would you get to actually hunt the Sambar deer?
Not as often as I want.
Yep.
I think this year I've been out once other than this week.
Yep.
Not often. That's why I make this one the one I genuinely want to get to.
Yep.
Living in Bendigo, it's hard to get into some good country. So it's if I get a quick run over to Jamison or something like that, I'm doing well. And young family and all that sort of stuff takes up your time. So if you're going to commit to 1 trip a year,
Yes.
you've got to get up to the Gata trip.
Coming into sort of hunting weather sort of time, I'd get up or try and get away at least once a month, and if more often I can, I'll get away, but
Yep.
I do sort of 1 or 2 week-long trips a year and try and get one on the deck, but mainly use it as holidays and relaxation time in the bush and meet a few good blokes.
I'm lucky I get out on chasing Sambar quite often. I get to hunt them a couple of times a week at best.
Probably 3-4 times a year.
Yep.
I try to get out a bit more, but unfortunately due to work restrictions, it's a bit too hard sometimes.
Yep.
Apart from this, probably only 2 other times. Busy with wife and kids and sport, so yeah, it's really limited.
A couple of dozen.
I'll hunt Sambar every second weekend from probably about now from May till September, October.
Yep.
Trying to get out probably once a week as well. But yeah, trying to get out every second weekend, and then you know, one day a week.
Yep. With inside the Wonnangatta, what's some of your sort of favourite areas you might like to go and hunt?
Yeah, there's a few. There's so many spots to hunt in here. So the Riley over the back
Yep.
is good. There's some marshy areas and hilly areas, so you can sort of make your mind up when you get there. Over the back of the Wonnangatta, so this side of the Riley, I guess, there's all sorts of great gullies through there.
Yep.
And if you can find one that's nice and open, walking through there's awesome.
No worries. That's
I love going up the dry.
Yep.
Yeah, there's some excellent hills up there and wallow systems and whatnot. So yeah, I love it.
Probably the big hills up east of the homestead. Get up 1,000 metres up there and get lost.
Oh, I've got a few, but anything along the Wonnangatta River and the iconic Dry River always holds a few deer.
Up the dry.
Roughly. Yep, up the Dry.
Yeah, up the dry.
Sort of like to do the faces across the front, mainly because they get the early morning sun on them.
Yep.
So it's a good place to start for the day.
Up the dry, Zika. That's probably it.
Yep. No secret spots here, but just roughly.
Favourite area? Jeez. Look, there's a couple of things. Like even just driving into the valley and driving down towards the homestead, it's just a magnificent landscape.
Yep.
The place I like to get in and hunt is down in the south. There's some nice tight little valleys. They've always hold up a couple of deer, not a lot.
Yep.
But you can work your way through that, you know, over a morning or an afternoon.
Yep.
Glassing as you go, and yeah, there's usually something to be seen or heard.
Sweet. Through your own trial and error, what have you found to be sort of like the most difficult part of the sambar hunting?
Finding them.
Yeah, just
How slow and how quiet you have to be. If you think you're slow, you've got to be slower. If you think you're quiet, you're not.
yeah.
I took a long time with a lot of gear, you know, using the wrong things.
Yep.
And you realise everything, if it squeaks when it's wet, or it'll tap against something else and makes clicks, you know, so many things, yeah.
Getting a good photo of them.
The hardest part about sambar hunting, knowing that they could be anywhere, anytime, and that just when you start to give up, you're probably going to bump into one.
The hardest part is trying to work out where they actually are at what type of days, or what time of the day, whether they're bedding down or whether they're on the move or whether they're feeding, and yeah, it's just trying to work out where they are on the tracks, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's just challenging.
Finding the spots where they are is probably the hardest. But you know, you come to the same spot and you keep walking the same gullies or different gullies, which I like to do, and you just mark it on the GPS, and when you find something good, you can go back there the year after that, and you know, have some luck.
Understanding behavioural changes depending on the habitat you're in.
Yep.
Deer in this thick shit will stand still a lot longer and let you get a lot closer before they'll break, whereas in the more open stuff, they'll see you coming a long way away.
One of the hardest things that I've found about the sambar is which bloody place to go and hunt. And what does the sort of Wonnangatta Oz hunt mean to you?
Oh, yeah. Good question. So, there's so many answers to that. So getting away from town for a long period of time.
Yep.
So I've been in here, well, we'll be in here for 10 days, so that's great. Meeting a bunch of blokes that I've been hunting here. You know, most of them we've been here for the whole 9 years, some of them longer.
Yep.
And catching up with them. And you always meet a couple of new blokes when you're here. You know, we had, 4 new blokes come down this year.
Yeah.
It's great to catch up with them and talk to them and learn stuff from them, and every now and then teach them something as well.
Yep.
And it's just a magical place. Like, you go through all of those turns and hills and ups and downs to get here, and then all of a sudden there's this massive paddock
Yes.
in the middle of nowhere. It's just a gorgeous part of the world.
It's say it's one of the last places in Victoria where you can go away and not have any sort of outside influence, as long as you've got enough food and beer to last you while you're in there.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's a destination for any sambar hunter, even though it gets a bit flogged nowadays, but it's still got the history of all the heads that have come out of here.
Definitely the social side of it. If you're after a deer hunting destination, although the Wonnangatta is probably the mecca of it, it's probably not the greatest place to come hunting deer. So it's, for me, it's just the camaraderie and the social side of it. And personally, it's a way for me to force myself to get away for a week as well.
Yep.
And then any chance I get to see a deer in here is just a bonus. And if you get to shoot one, it's even better.
Yep.
Oh yeah, no, it's good. Made some good friends from it, and yeah, catch up with them other times during the year as well. And it's a good spot for new blokes to come and have a look, because there's all different types of terrain, different country, always plenty of deer. You're always going to get honked somewhere. If you're lucky, you might drop one.
Like, it's a great opportunity to catch up with like-minded blokes. You know, there's people from all sort of walks of life up here.
Yep.
And sometimes it's for some of these blokes, it's the only time they'll all catch up, but they'll all catch up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Beauty. Yeah.
This week is a week off with good mates I've met through the Oz Hunt crew, who I enjoy coming back to and seeing them once a year, if not twice a year, you know, on other hunts. But I look forward to catching up with good mates with the same interest of deer hunting.
Sambar hunting and the Wonnangatta, to me, is just a great place to come for a social hunt. Throughout most of the winter, I'll be solo hunting or hunting just with another fella. So I love coming in here and just having a yarn with everyone at the end of the night. Crack of dawn, vehicles go in every different which way. Come night time, after a few cans are cracked, all the stories. Ones that got away and ones that didn't come out. And that's what I like about the Wonnangatta, and being such a remote place. It's really remote. It is busy, but it's remote, and there's no distractions. It's iconic, it's beautiful, and yeah, week in paradise.
Oh, it's iconic here. It's cops a heap of pressure. There's a shitload of blokes up here this week, and there's still deer walking around all over the place. They're not easy, but they're there. And I don't think, the place wouldn't be the same without them.
It's a challenge. It's I guess my passion isn't quite like a lot of other people, like some of the other members. For me, it's more of the camaraderie about it, being in camp, listening to the stories, living somebody's emotions when they have a successful hunt, and then trying to replicate that on my own.
Yep.
So, yeah.
It's generally the social aspect, like talking around the fire, hearing the stories of how people hunt deer, and it's really interesting to hear how other people tackle the hills and their sort of methods behind things as well.
308 win? 308?
The traditional 30.06. I got an old Mossberg.
Yep.
When the Aussie dollar was right, and put a Bushnell scope on that trophy.
Yep.
And I kept thinking that'll be a starter gun, and I'll just use this for a while, see if I'm interested. But it turns out it works pretty well. Shoots minute a deer.
Yep.
I use a 30.06
Yep.
with 220 grain.
Okay.
I have two Sambar rifles. I have the Savage 30.06 shooting 150 grains.
Yep.
And then I have a 358 Winchester shooting 220 grain pills as well.
I'm using the Remington 7600 pump action with 180 Winchester Woodleys in them.
Good old reliable Ruger in 338 RCM with hand loaded 225 grain Woodleys. That's the medicine. Better than a 7mm08 anyway.
I got a Howler 1500 308 and use Winchester factories with a 180 grain Woodley.
Yep.
And not that I've shot that many deer with them, but they do the job.
Currently shooting a Kimmer Montana 7mm 08. Use 140 grain Woodleys in that. And I also, in this sort of country, I'll carry a big banger like a 35 Wheeler, or at the moment a Tika 9.3 by 62. Any old time favourite Sam hunters from back in the day that used to like may have read books or looked up to for some info?
Yeah, look, I've read a few books, but I couldn't tell you who the names were. So there's the current favourites like Reg Gordon and even some newer ones that you see in the magazines. Mick Gibbo, I like reading his stuff. I read some of the older books, back from the 60s, but honestly I can't remember who the authors were, but they were, I went out with my brother-in-law. He was the first guy that took me deer hunting. Yep. And I was so wrapped in these books, I just spent a day reading these books on the back lawn.
Yeah.
Just a few of me mates when we were first starting out. But yeah, back when I started, it sort of, it wasn't that well known. So I liked Mike Harrison and all the old time guys like that. I think.
Yep.
That was all the information there was. There was no internet back then.
Yep.
Yeah.
So when I started in the hound hunting, it was an old friend of mine who's not around anymore, Rob Webster. He got me into it, and then after he passed on, I'd stopped hound hunting and then just moved into stalking.
Yep.
I crashed around the bush for a couple of years until I discovered ice hunt, and then from there, I met a lot of people who've taught and showed me ways and give me ideas what I should be doing, and that culminated in me taking a couple of stags with a couple of members here. So.
Yep.
Magazines and internet, really.
Yep.
A couple of Facebook groups and that sort of thing. Oz Hunt Forum, a lot of info on there if you troll back through the pages.
In particular, a lot of info on Oz Hunt Forum, they said.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, the internet was the first sort of thing. There was some previous forums to Oz Hunt, so I picked up a lot from some of the old hands who talk on those. But those blokes don't always hang around on there, and sometimes you can't actually you can't always get good information just because somebody's on a forum. So, look, I think the great thing about that is you learn where to go, what to use, but you learn a lot. Most of it's actually just getting out and doing it.
Roger that.
Mostly around me father
Yep.
and my uncle, because they used to hunt quite a fair bit when they were younger, and they grew up being European. So yeah, basically around that, and then reading into the forums a bit more as well to learn other sort of aspects of hunting.
Yep, sure.
Certainly scouring the gun shops, speaking to the gun owners, but then when we moved to internet forums, just asking lots of questions on the internet. Some gifted hunters on the forums and stuff give you a lot of good information.
Early on, pay attention to what Paul Bogues does, because he knows what he's doing.
Yep.
The Hill Dog, the Guru.
Yep.
He sort of showed me a few spots first time I come in here and give me a few tips, and then go out with my uncle a little bit, and he's taught me a bit of stuff as well, but he hunts a different style. He hunts with a pointer.
Yep.
So you learn a bit different ways of doing things.
Hands-on experience.
Yeah, there was only a handful of books you could get your hands on. Facebook and forums and that hadn't really started. So yeah, it was mainly just experience in the bush and just going out with a mentor and getting shown the ropes, so to speak, sign and what to look for and all that sort of stuff, and you just learnt by getting out there and doing it. These days there's a shitload of information out there, but you still can't beat going out with someone who knows what they're doing.
Copy.
Yeah, Oz Hunt mostly.
Yeah. Old time hunters I used to look up to. Geez, there's so many. Where do I start? Noel O'Connor's one. Reg Gordon. Chris Boone used to be pretty influential on some of my early days sambar hunting. Yeah, there's Trevor Willis, Errol Mason, Bill Barry. Read one of your books, and it had some great stories there and a lot of familiar places once you get out and about and explore Victoria. I feel like I could relate to a lot of your gullies and that inside of the Wonnangatta, especially on the Dry and Zika. The Guru himself, learned a lot, especially about the Wonnangatta from that fella, so cheers bloke. Anyone that's put a video up or something or wrote articles that were no bullshit in some of the magazines, I used to just fucking live and breathe that stuff. Just wanted to be doing it and just wanted to sit beside the big ones. And one other mention for old time Sambarmen was a fella who always used to post on Ozhunt, and ever since I signed up on there 10 years ago, used to just love all these photos and stories and his experience and knowledge on the forum, and that was a fella by the name of Griffin. Pretty iconic fella himself, and yeah mate, get back on there and hopefully he's still chasing a few around. Well, hopefully I'm giving back to the forum in sort of form that I learnt off from you. A lot of people might think it's a bit show pony and whatnot, always putting up photos and all this, but you're sort of doing it to encourage people that that's what's out there and it's accessible and it's doable. And fuck, what else are we going to do with our photos? Sit them on the hard drive and do fuck all with, you know? So let's put them on forums. Bring it back to how it used to be. No bullshit stories. It's always good to see a big head and whatnot, but it's not it's not what we're there for. We're not show off big heads. Just bloody yarns about real deal sambar hunting. Or hunting in general. I shouldn't always just single out sambar hunting, but I'm on a sambar bug, so that's what's happening. The Wonnangatta hunt goes. Your sort of success rate for the days, how many average deer might you see, and how many deer you crack at or so like that?
Yeah. So in all the years I've come here, I've fired one shot.
Yep.
And I missed. So this week, every time but once I've been out, I've been honked.
Yep.
And I saw one of them but didn't get a shot off. Yeah, so for me, it's getting to see them before they see me, but they're out there.
Yeah.
You know, they're waiting for me to get the skills right.
Yes.
So shooting I haven't, but I would generally see or have contact with a deer every second hunt on average.
Well, last year I was seeing it was a lot drier last year, but there's a lot better feed around. I was seeing 6 a day, and this trip I've seen maybe 5, 6 for the trip, and I've been here
For the trip.
a week now.
So one a day.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll probably see, out of the week-long trip, I'll probably see or hear will be around the 40 mark, and if you're lucky, you'll get 1 or 2 during the 7 days.
Yep.
Well, this year, I suppose if you average it, usually 1 every 2 days, I'm hearing.
Yep.
I'm seeing also like usually 1 a day.
Yep.
And getting honked quite a fair bit actually. But unfortunately, just can't get close enough to knock them down.
Yeah. Yeah. So each year, my success rate with the Wonnangatta has been most of the week I'll have seen or see a deer every couple of days. Some places I might get lucky and see a few deer scoot off. I don't get honked too much in here, but I get busted quite a bit. I very rarely see stags, except this year I've seen 5 or so stags. For the 6 years I've been in here, I've shot about 9 deer. A couple of years get lucky on a few hinds, and the meat shed round in camp, so it's good to just whack a couple and it goes everywhere.
well, on average, from none to a lot. So there's this year, I've been here since that's nearly a week. So that's 5 days. First couple of days, saw 7, got honked I don't know how many times. Last 3 days, nothing. Couple of non-hunting days in there too, so I did a bit of fishing and whatnot as well.
The shortest shot, or the average shot, I would say, is about 30 metres. And but yet you see them out to about 100, 120 metres.
I haven't shot one this year. But I think every Oz hunt trip I've shot one, I think. At least. Couple of shot 2 or 3, I think. You should be putting a couple up every day. Yeah, at least. It's saying that we've had a pretty quiet week and haven't really seen that many at all. But just depends. Sometimes you're lucky, sometimes you're not.
I think it's taught me patience that carries over into real life as well, because nothing happens fast when you're sambar hunting. And I think it's even unsuccessful hunts, you still learn something and you still pick up on things you haven't noticed on previous hunts. And it's the thrill of the chase, I suppose. Following some fresh marks and then hearing something bust off ahead of you and then trying to figure out what you did wrong.
It's a chance to get out and relax. It's not so much about shooting deer all the time. It's more just a chance to get to know the bush a bit better, and have time to myself.
Just being in the bush. Being in the bush and just pitting your skills and your learned skills against their instincts, which they've got the leg up on your skills, and just being able to put your skills and knowledge into practice and get you in a position. Luck's a lot, luck pays a lot, but you've got to put yourself in the right position for Lady Luck to smile. If you're in a shit spot, you're in a shit spot. Doesn't matter how lucky you are.
Copy. The favorite part about the sambar hunting game is just coming to such remote places, challenging myself against the sambars one-on-one, and I very typically walk them up. I used to read about this stuff, used to dream about this stuff, and to come into the fucking Wonnangatta Valley, iconic Wonnangatta Valley, and walk up fucking sambar deer, it's dream living shit. So that's what I fucking love about it. And who doesn't love a big set of antlers? Fair chase, challenge, one-on-one, good times.
It's walking through the bush, and if you don't see anything, I'm not too fussed. It's actually getting out, sitting in the sun, climbing cliff face, just virtually checking out what Wonnangatta or Eildon or Australian bush has got, which is great country. Great country to walk in.
I guess the place that takes you. It's even when there's nothing happening and it's quiet, you're still out in the bush. It takes you into this wonderful part of the world. And just getting to and from the places you need to be, even if nothing's going on. Okay, you can have a fish, you can watch the wildlife, you can, just take it all in, just be in it.
Great outdoors sort of thing. Big shout out to everyone, all the old timers, keeping it real and the no bullshit stories. Good on yous.
And when you don't find the spots, you just put on the GPS, don't go back.
So just briefly again on camera, you were saying that in all your years you've never really come across any other hunters in the bush in Wonnangatta that you didn't know.
Only the one time, and that must have been 6 or 7 years ago, and then those guys from were Tasmania anyway. Does that count? Yes, of course it does. But
they're all sambar hunters, aren't we?
it's such a big area. If people want to get out and hunt, they still can, and not be interfered with by other hunters. I'm sure of it.
That's good to just hear as well. 'Cause
Yeah.
it is busy. And we do
Well,
come in a
sure,
busy time of
it's,
year.
It's busy
we're
on the
just saying.
roads, but it's such a big area, and a person is only very small in comparison, so there's plenty of room for everybody, really.
Yeah, 100%. First hand.